Do we not have enough training around our country for people to do things like this? Because obviously, not everyone does uh, the interrogation where they're screaming at the person and trying to get whatever they can. Others are doing it exactly like you do, but our system allows for it. That's kind of the thing. It's allowed here. Other places you can't. It's like that's just not allowed for the every reason you just described. It doesn't necessarily produce good results or correct results. So I wonder about that. Is do we need more training for folks who are in this position of power to try and get information out of people to do it the right way?
Training and reps. I mean,
Yeah.
the greatest challenge I think in law enforcement right now is teachers, mentors, and guides with the younger generation.
Hmm.
As the assault on law enforcement continues and has decimated the senior ranks, the days of like my Jedi masters that I get goosebumps and just smile about them. I'm
Yeah.
still so close to all of them. These were the Jedi of human interactions, and the great ones would bring you along with them.
Hmm.
They'd kind of put you out front a little bit, and they'd help guide you. You'd get the reps in under guidance of how to do all the things we're just doing nowadays because there's so limited seniors around because they've all retired because they've been so blasted by
Yeah.
everyone and everything. There's, just hypothetically on the top of my head, like a 20 to 1 ratio, one senior person to 20 new people coming in. And so training isn't training is a small part of the answer.
Hmm.
Get the training, then reps, reps, reps,
Yeah.
reps, 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 because you have to see what works. You have to see what fails
Hmm.
in order to get that art form down. You take the paint by number that you learn in training and you got to make an art form that suits you, but you also have to see what works with human beings.
Yeah.
The heavy-handed tactics do not. And then, and to your point even more on that, the most important thing you're doing during an interview to not be coercive, so it's good in court, so it's good for everyone, is the individual you're interviewing has to feel empowered with choice with shutting up.
Hmm. Hmm.
So using Miranda and then offering it before they disclose even something more is let them know, hey, if you're not comfortable sharing with this, if you're not, if you want to stop the interview now, let me know. It has to be recorded. It has to be stated. It has to be said. And then see what happens is when you have a young officer and young investigator that's afraid, that has fear that this person's going to walk away, then they're not going to do that. And they're
Yeah.
going to try to go the heavy handed. But what happens is when you have that connection, when that individual feels you're there to have them tell their side of the story in their own words, they're not going to walk away and do it.
And how convenient is it that those parts of the tape don't exist?
Yeah.
We don't have the Miranda rights on tape. We don't have the part of Richard Allen saying he has nothing to do with this. We only seem to have the parts where he admits to it under duress. But all the other parts, I mean, it's like they just edited the damn thing to fit their own narrative. And it's pretty clear that's what they did. And all the other evidence of all the other interviews they did with people, that just happens to be gone too. The DVR system doesn't work. This just seems so screwed up in this case. Like if you just did it right, and even if you did a heavy handed tactic, if you got it all on tape, we can all look at it together and go, okay, here's how this went. But you're going to present an edited version of it and say, whoops, we didn't record that. I just, this just seems like such sloppy work where somebody thinking they're doing the right thing because they got the guy or they got the guy they think is the guy. And then they start to realize, oh God, maybe it's not that, but we went down this road so far and we don't want to be wrong.
It's nothing but a massive case of reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing but reasonable doubt everywhere. I mean, every single day is more reasonable doubt. I think, and I do not like throwing anyone on any side under the bus because
Sure.
everyone's doing the best they can with all they have. I think, but from the appearance that we have, from what we've been given by media and by everyone, these these investigators did a horrible job. If there's a T to cross, they threw it out. If there's an I to dot, they got rid of their pens. I mean, they didn't do anything right. And all they're doing is making it easy. Well, it's not easy, but how can you not have an acquittal? How can you not have a mistrial? How can you not have an appeal? How can you not have a jury sitting there with all of them saying there's nothing but reasonable doubt here?
How powerful do you think it's going to be to the jury that they do have the confession? I mean, under duress, no doubt. But having that to a jury is pretty powerful no matter what. People are going to look at it, well, he confessed. Like, yeah, but.
I think context is going to be important. It's going to come down to defense and how they lay out the context. I think it's going to be really incumbent upon them to lay out all the things that led up to that confession, how to, but including mental health, and that it looks like, again, hypothesis here, that Richard Allen was going through at the time. I mean, when we're in a self-loathing kind of way as a human being, we tend to take on more or subject ourselves more than we might necessarily have done. That again, that's a small part of the whole. So let's take a look at this. Let's assume that Richard Allen confessed, as they said,
Mhm.
and it's accurate. Okay, that is one part of the entire prosecution, and there's going to be a lot more reasonable doubt surrounding everything else.
Mhm.
And there's still going to be an ability to have an appeal. There's still going to be reasonable doubt with the one person that's not going to believe the confession. That's what I mean. So even if it's accurate, even if it's real, even if it wasn't coerced, all these things in best case scenario for prosecution, since everything else around this one data point was really done poorly, I don't know if that one data point is going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of resting on that. It's what it seems like. Until we get to trial, we're not going to know if there's other things here
True.
at
So
play.
true.
So I don't know. We'll find out. But if that's it, okay, he said this. Prove he was there. Prove he did it. I mean, there's a lot of
One
question
data
there.
point.
One
That's
data
what it
point.
is.
Yeah.
One, so remove that one data point and then look at the case.
Hmm. Yeah.
Is there a case?
It's yeah. It's just more questions than answers. But we'll find out soon if this thing does go to trial as it's supposed to in the coming weeks. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.